Welcome to Kappas Coach's Corner, Week 11, a special edition. We just finished the regular season for the Louisville Leopards, and now we have a bonus time because we have the playoffs. The Leopards are in the playoffs after defeating the Wooster Generals last Friday night, 50-7, heading to see Westerville South, the Wildcats, from down around Columbus this week. Coach Kappas, welcome to the show.
Glad to be back.
Yeah.
Still alive.
Still alive. There aren't very many teams playing football right now, and you're one of them.
Yeah, special time of year. Weather's getting colder. Playoff football is a whole different animal. So we're excited to get our opportunity here.
And Louisville is hungry to see the Leopards in the playoffs. I've been waiting a while, I think since 2015, to get back into the playoffs. Playoff football is a special brand. Coach, I hope a lot of our Leopard faithful head down to Columbus Friday night. It's just a 2-hour drive. Going to be a perfect night for football. And to be able to cheer the Leopards on to a victory. Coach, you had a great game last Friday night. Pretty much, if I was going to describe it, surgical, the way you guys did things. You ran, seemed like you were able to run the plays you wanted to run. You were able to do what you wanted to do on defense. You were able to keep people healthy throughout the game and just really kind of tuned up the machine heading into Week 11.
Yeah, senior night, our guys were really fired up. And I think just the way we came out on senior night, not only shows how the guys prepared all week, we had a great week of practice, but just how much they wanted to send the seniors out with a win for their last game at home. We knew that, and we knew if we didn't win the game, we had zero chance of getting into the playoffs. And our guys really care for each other. They really love football. They really love being around each other, and they really wanted to play another week and get a chance in the playoffs. So. It was a fun game to be a part of. Things were going our way, and we executed really, really well. Just happy to see that all come together at a culmination that we've been close to that a couple times. We played a complete game there, and kids had a lot of fun.
It was an excellent game. Sometimes in Week 11 or Week 10, you never know how a team's going to show up. It's senior night at your home stadium. A lot of emotions come into play. You were also playing an opponent who was 0-9. Felt like the kids came in and played their game. They didn't play down to an 0-9 level. They did what they needed to do. And like I said, I thought it was a real good tune-up. And a lot of guys excelled in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, and we always talk to our guys about, it doesn't matter if a team's 10-0 or 0-10, how you prepare shows your opponent how much you respect them. And, Wooster had done some really good things on tape that caught our guys' attention. And our guys prepared just like it was any other team that we were playing all year. And, that's a sign of a maturing program. The guys are going to take the same approach day to day and knowing that that's going to help them get better and raise their level no matter who the opponent is. And got us prepared for this week.
Fantastic, Coach. Like we said, 6-4 in the regular season. You guys battled through some very tough opponents. A lot of your opponents are in the playoffs too. Pretty much a lot of your schedule is in there, but the most important one is you're in the playoffs. We're going to get to that a little more as we go, but let's take a look at some of the highlights. There were plenty of highlights. I had to cut it back a little bit. Kind of stops early in the third quarter of highlights. You had so many good plays, but let's start off with Zaylor. Gets his first touchdown pass. He steps in at quarterback Friday night, and here we are.
Yeah, Cody did an awesome job in his first start. Tried to keep it as simple as possible for him, just to, make sure he, knew exactly where he needed to go with the ball. This is a play we run on JV a lot that he's thrown, probably 20 touchdown passes in the last 2 years on this exact play. They came out playing a little different coverage, and this kind of fit what that kind of beats that coverage. And great job hanging in there. They did bring two guys, a guy off each edge right there. He felt a little pressure, but he kept his eyes downfield and delivered a really accurate throw to Quinn.
I thought he looked confident all night. He didn't look shaken at all. Seemed to be able to handle everything, knowing he's going into his first start. Other than coming into a game where you're called in, I thought he looked like he was really ready to play.
Yeah, and we expected that, really. He got to go into a game last year as a freshman, kind of later in the year. Tate Aljancic had gone down, and we were down by multiple scores, and we needed to push the ball down the field a little bit. And he came in and made some really great throws, and without getting really any reps at all in week in practice. And it's like, okay, this this is probably one of those guys that just when the lights get brighter, he raises his level, and that's just the kind of kid he is. Just really proud of how he prepared this week, how Gabe helps him prepare, how he helps him kind of dissect the plays for him, and lets him know what he can be looking at and whatnot. He handled the week really well, and that paid off on Friday night, and he's back at it again this week.
And speaking of Gabe, I wouldn't expect anything less of him. He's definitely a team player, leader. He showed up on defense Friday night. He showed up on offense too. He just showed up in terms of being a leader and what you said there in terms of helping Cody along the way. That's a great representation of him as a player.
And that's why he's a captain. He's kind of the heart and soul of our team. And when he went down, we knew he'd be back as soon as possible. And he's a tough guy that loves football, and he's a competitor. He'll do whatever it takes to win, whether that's holding the water for somebody or help coaching the quarterbacks. But fortunately, he's able to continue to play with the cast on, and played really well on defense on Friday night, and is serving this team in any capacity that he can.
That's exactly right. Now, this next clip we've got is one we haven't seen all year. This is DiMarzio playing defense, slips inside here. I don't know if he was blitzing or came inside on his own, but gets the quarterback sack.
Yeah, DiMarzio, even from the beginning of the year, he's practiced quite a bit of defense, and he's done really, really well. But we always want to try to keep him as fresh as possible on offense. We felt like we had guys in place on defense to kind of give him a rest on defense. But we had some injuries last week coming into this game that, hey, let's give Owen a shot on defense, just because we were going to be in that type of package all game, just the amount of empty and stuff that they were doing. And he came in and he's so smart, for not being a defensive guy. Really hasn't played any defense coming up through since we've been here in 3 years. He knows his assignments. He has a great feel for it. His speed just, it shows up every single time.
The way he tracked that quarterback down.
Offense or defense. And, I was kind of kicking myself a little bit. Like, man, this guy should have been on the field a little bit more all season. But, it's a great time to have a guy that's fully healthy. And end of his senior year, he wants to be on the field every single play. So, you continue to see him on defense.
And you say kicking yourself, but I know you were, through the injury bug, you were limited at running back in terms of varsity experience.
Yep.
You can't risk that. And you got yourself into week 11 with the way you did it. So, all right, let's take a look at this next play. Special teams showing up early. You guys were very aggressive Friday night.
Yeah, coming after a punt here. We always try to see if we can find a way to get some pressure on it. And Luke Seaman, this is just what he does. It takes a special guy to block a punt, right? You either kind of have it or you don't. With just perfect technique. We practice this multiple times per week with volleyballs, just guys just getting reps, going, blocking punts, getting their hands out, using that proper technique. And, Coach Faulkner does our punt return.
Okay.
Did a great job scheming that one up right there, getting Luke cut free and getting the punt block. So that anytime you block a punt in a game, it usually has a significant impact on the game and the momentum in that moment. So, we were able to get a punt block right there after our first drive stalled. They came back, we blocked the punt, and then we're able to go down and put the ball in the end zone. So just a great execution by the guys right there, and great draw up by our coaching staff.
When I know Luke loves to block punts, as a sophomore, I remember on scout team, he was trying to give the punt team fits by going anywhere he could to try to block a punt. He enjoys that. He's had several this year.
Yeah, three this year, yeah.
That's fantastic. That might be a record for the Leopards. Take a look here. We got Big Norris coming off a block for a sack.
Yeah, Big Nor doesn't get many sacks, but he's so strong, uses his length really, really well. We did a great job at both of our ends, kind of keeping the guy in the pocket here a little bit. And he just kind of pushes that guy back and just swallows guys up. He's just so long and big that, when he lands on you, you feel that one.
And we showed, DiMarzio earlier on your outside linebackers, but Isaiah Bragg came up with a play here next, a tackle for loss, as an outside linebacker too.
Yeah, he's been battling the injury bug a little bit, missed last week. but came back and we weren't sure if he was going to be able to play this week, but he went in pretty early for Owen. I mean, Owen was scoring a lot of touchdowns on offense, so he needed a break, and Isaiah came in and played really, really well. Probably his best game as a Leopard. He's only a junior, so he's got another year left. But really did a great job getting off blocks, get another tackle for loss there. I think he had 2 tackles for loss in this game. Had a forced fumble later in the game, was our tackle leader. So it's great to see him, coming off an injury, coming in and having a big game.
Yeah, it was nice to see. Now we're going to go back to DiMarzio. We got a touchdown pass to DiMarzio.
Yeah, nice little play. Coach Burek drew up here. Just getting Owen out of the backfield down the sideline. Great throw by Cody. Great job by Owen keeping the concentration because the corner kind of came off the post up top right there and saw this and was kind of barreling down on Owen. But great job catching that and making a move at the same time. And then, Colton Norris gets a great block there at the end. And Owen's just so hard to catch in the open field right there. Just a, big play. Great time to call that play. And we had quite a few explosive plays on offense.
And not surprisingly, you talked about the downfield blocking by your receivers. There are some other plays coming in here later with some great blocking downfield. I thought the receivers blocked really well Friday night. Now we got Stouffer making his appearance in the game defensively and coming up with an interception.
Yeah, he catches really well with his cast on. It's pretty big once because you have to pad the hard cast, so the referees let you play. But great job by Gabe, kind of recognizing the formation and everything. Turned into a little scramble drill. Kind of threw a little bit high, but great job. This is what Gabe does. He doesn't expect just to make the interception. He expects to go score a touchdown. And he's great with the ball in his hands. We got some great downfield blocking. Get that ball back all the way to about the 12-yard line or so to set up our offense. Just a big play. And Gabe's done that for 3 years on defense. We've kind of sat him on defense the last couple of weeks. Just because, him playing quarterback and how important he is to our team on that side. So it's good to have him back out there in defense and making plays like that.
Rob, can we run that clip again? Because one of the things that, when I saw it Friday night and watched it again, Gabe has a unique running ability and style. And it was just like, wow, that's back. Because he doesn't get the opportunity to get the ball in his hands every down like he did before, but just very savvy runner.
Yeah, well, Gabe, I think, grew up a big Barry Sanders fan. You can see a lot of that in his running style. Kind of very shifty, making guys miss. Has a unique, quick little burst out of his moves, and he always finishes runs going forward, whether that's playing quarterback or not. But just great job right there, and it just shows you like how much we always talk about whether it's an interception on defense or if it's a run play on offense. Like how you block down the field that can make that extra couple yards or even spring a touchdown. And that shows your teammates how much you care about each other.
For sure. Here we go. Now we got a little scramble by Zahler, and then he finds DiMarzio in the end zone.
Probably next play here. That's the same interception play.
Move to the next play, Rob.
Yeah, here we go. We were trying to let me think which play this was here. Yeah, this is actually Luke Seaman on the little jet sweep.
Oh, yeah,
here.
That was okay.
So great job by Luke. Getting the edge, great blocking out there. Jake Baker setting the edge. DiMarzio out in front, leading right there, and then Luke just getting that little extra gear to turn the corner there and get the pylon. I wasn't fired up. It was first or second down. He reached the ball to the pylon. We don't really encourage that much, but I think game was pretty much in hand at that point. And great job by Luke getting a touchdown on senior night on offense.
Yeah, we may not have that play we were talking about earlier. We'll see, or maybe they got switched up. Let's go to our next play. All right, I believe this is the touch pass by Gabe.
Yeah.
Shovel
So
pass.
Gabe's last pass, the play he broke his wrist on was an interception. So I said let's draw up something simple where Gabe can toss the ball forward here on a little shovel pass. And Colton Doherty's been a guy begging for the ball all year, and this was like the perfect scenario to do that. And great play fake by Gabe, kind of faking the little toss out to Owen with his eyes, and flipped it back, kind of looked at like Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
So this goes down as a 53-yard touchdown pass for Gabe. But a great job blocking, Jake Baker leading the way. And then you see Colton Doherty. I mean, he's a 215-pound linebacker that really shows his explosiveness and his speed.
Let's rewind that again. Let's play that again, because appreciating the fact that Gabe got his pass in here, and then the blocking and Doherty just taking off. And no wonder he wants the ball, because he knew where the end zone was at.
And I told him maybe he earned a little bit more here. Great job. They kind of switched up how they kind of usually take on the counter plays, and a great job by our guys adjusting. I think there's great speed. I mean, that's a really, really good run by Colton.
And let's go back and let's pick up that block, Coach. Is that Norris getting the block there in the corner?
Yeah, likely Norris downfield, or Quinn, one of those guys down there, picking up that block late. And,
we're keeping Rob busy.
Those little blocks down the field. That's what creates big explosive plays. And we always tell our guys, like, this is why you hustle on defense. Because if we get the ball, if they get the ball down the 10-yard line, it's no guarantee that you get into the end zone.
Yeah, he locks this
great
corner
job
up
making
right
the
here.
safety miss. Great job out there. That's actually Drake Wilson, I think.
Okay, yeah, Wilson.
Out there getting a little pancake.
That's what you want on your kickoff return. Is what you want on your punt return. That kind of block to stick on it is tough to do. All right, here we go. Moving to the next play. I think this is
the Seaman interception.
Interception, yes.
Yep. So, they had a guy open here, tough catch to make, but goes off his hands right into Luke's hands here. And, great job again by him. We got a great block here by Doherty, getting knocked down. And, Luke's a special player with the ball in his hands. He has great speed, good knack for getting to the end zone.
Found both corners of the end zone.
That's it. He's painting that whole line.
Yes. Coach, again, there were a lot more highlights. You pretty much used all the fireworks that Doc Thomas had Friday night.
Yeah.
In terms of scoring, 50 points is something Louisville hasn't done in a long time. And
it's good. It's good to get that kind of offensive production, and get a score on defense too. And being up like that at halftime by 50 points, and then getting we pretty much cleared the whole bench, got all sophomores, a bunch of freshmen got to go in there and play a little bit.
Yeah.
And they did well too. I think they scored a touchdown in the second half. But it, running clock, so it was a quick half, but very valuable experience for those young guys to get in there and get some Friday night experience. So that's a good win.
Then those young guys went on to battle Wooster on Saturday morning.
Yeah, a lot. Most teams cancel JV games week 10, and I asked Coach Leak, their head coach, Worcester's head coach, that I know really well. I said we'd love to play a JV game if you guys are willing. He said they had a lot of freshmen playing in the varsity game, so he said it was mostly freshman guys, but they'd love to play it. So just another opportunity for our guys to go out, and it was a pretty tight game, but our guys were able to battle out another win and finish the season undefeated 10-0 in JV, nice. which is a big time thing. And especially Cody playing varsity now. We really don't have a JV quarterback, so it was Riker Young and Ryan Rush getting in there, filling in and playing quarterback, and a lot of young guys getting a lot of good valuable reps.
All right, Coach. Well, that kind of sums up Friday night, sums up our regular season. Now we head to the second season, and I know you're very familiar with that from being at Mount. You guys played a lot of second seasons. You're taking this team in. Tell us a little bit about your prep this week for the playoffs. Yeah,
I mean, it's you can't treat it much differently. The stakes are higher. It's win or go home. It's victory or death. So it's the message is we have to do everything in our power to get us as prepared as we possibly can be. That's physically, mentally, how we sleep, how we eat, how we hydrate. Those things are going to make the difference. And just putting in little extra things, whether that's special teams wise or just having little adjustments that might make the difference in the game, and then just preaching how discipline, how ball security, right, how just keeping my eyes on my key. Those things are so much more magnified in a playoff game, just because of one little mistake can be the game, right? It can be a big play for us. It could be a big play for them. It could be a turnover for them, turnover for us. So, just those things get magnified so much more when you're playing good teams in the playoffs. And, Westerville South is a very, very good opponent. And, we got to handle a 2-hour trip.
Right.
And, so it's a little bit different, and we're trying to make it as consistent as possible. But our guys are really excited about the opportunity. We have 0 playoff experience within our program of any players. And, but we've played playoff style games this year.
Right. You've played some playoff opponents and in situations where large crowds.
Yeah.
One thing you'll have in this situation, and folks may not be aware because we've been out of the playoffs for a while, but now you're playing at Westerville South. You're playing the way the playoffs are structured now. They came in at 5th, and so they get a home game, and you go down there into their home environment that, of course, they're going to be excited about too.
Yeah. I got a little bit of home. My mom graduated from Westerville South.
Oh,
high school,
wow.
actually. So
you're a Buckeye.
I got a little in there.
Nice, nice.
But no, our guys are excited about it. We've played relatively well on the road this year. And each game we've played against, playoff caliber teams, starting with Hoover, we didn't have our best effort there. But then going on to Canfield, going on to Greene, going on to LaSalle, those games, our best players have played better and better in each one of those. So our guys are prepared for a really good opponent like Westerville South. And again, we're excited about making the road trip and handling this as a business trip.
Can you tell us a little bit about the highlights? I know you can't tell us everything about Westerville South, but maybe the fans hear a little bit about what we're looking at.
Yeah, they're a very talented team. They have a couple seniors who are Division I recruits. They have a safety that's committed to Pitt. They have a defensive end that's committed to Miami of Ohio, I believe. And then a bunch of quality athletes, some big guys up front. Their quarterback does a really, really good job. He can run the ball. He can throw it. He reminds me of the quarterback from Canfield. They do a lot of different things offensively, some really tight, heavy sets to some empty sets, kind of working to see what works and what not. And they have, you can tell they're very well coached because they have different wrinkles, different plans each week that, we have on tape that they attack defenses different ways. They have packages of plays that they build upon. And then defensively, they run and they hit. They're very aggressive. They're very athletic, and we got to, again, it's going to be a disciplined football game. We can't hurt ourselves, right? We got to be able to capitalize on the big play opportunities when we get those. And, we got to play great on special teams. We got to block and we got to tackle. Right,
absolutely.
And, that's what it's going to come down to. And, this is Ohio. You got to run the football. You got to stop the run. It's playoffs.
Yes, that's for sure. Coach, it's exciting to be in the playoffs. Tell us a little bit about, outside of football in terms of, community and the feeling that you've experienced this week from getting the team into the playoffs.
Yeah, people are really excited. And, I think people have been hungry for Louisville football to get back in the playoffs for a while. So, people have been just very complimentary, not only of just making the playoffs, but, how we've done it, how they've seen our program continue to build, the attitude of the players, how they treat people. It's just it's exciting to know people pay attention to that stuff. It's not just the wins and losses. And when you have a group of people that starting with our coaching staff and how how I as the head coach expect our staff and to treat people around the district and be visible in the community. And then our players modeling that as well. It's just, it's a rewarding thing, especially for the players, to see that people do notice that type of stuff. And these guys have earned this opportunity. And,
right.
And this group is not a group that's just happy with getting to the playoffs, right? They expect to win. And,
right.
That's what we're going down to do. And, we got a great crew to go down and do it. So I'm excited.
It's an exciting time, Coach. Congratulations again on a great regular season. Getting, with any season, even a 10-0 season, sometimes there's things you want more, but you have to be proud of the accomplishment, and that catapulted you into the playoffs. And I know your approach to getting your teams ready is a very business, look at ourselves kind of approach. I know you'll be ready to go. Proud of you guys, proud of the players, excited the fact that we get to keep having our show here together, because I know you're a busy man. I'm sure in terms of film hours, other than coaching and teaching, you've been at the camera or the computer watching film, breaking things down. So we appreciate you coming in here. We're going to let you get back to work, Coach. But again, congratulations and thank you. And thank you for joining us for Kappas Coach's Corner on YSN Live.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.